Here is an Aries branded small box VN. Let's see what size this thing is. Probably a 9-inch. No, it's about 10.5 across. The blade is probably 9. This thing is in terrible condition. The plastic is all yellowed and chalky on the top. It had an OK label on there, which I just removed, and a whole bunch of the plastic came off with the label. It was okay for $4, I guess. The letter H and I really like these little 9-inch box fans. I never took too much of a liking to any of them outside for the little Duracraft ones, but then once I saw that Lakewood model at the vacation house, I started to like just about any model that has this particular kind of blade on there. The blade, oh yeah, the blade is all sun damaged too. Wow, look at that. Plastic is all messed up. That's kind of unfortunate. Although interestingly, it doesn't look like it's warped at all. It's like the shape of the blade is pretty much correct. This of course has a lot of resemblance of the Duracraft models, which I guess this was probably a rip-off of at the time, I don't know. It's a 3-speed model, which of course is just a cheesy sales gimmick. There's no reason that something this small and this powerful needs 3 different speeds. They're probably all pretty much the same anyways, so one's just louder than the other. This is probably an early 2000s product, would be my guess. Oh, we don't have to guess. I was correct. February of 2002. Made in China. 0.6 amps, 40 watts. Model 14B8878 or YFC-1001. 10-inch box van. So this is probably sold in the summer of 2002, which makes this over 2 decades old. That's a crazy thought. I have some memories from 2002. Wow, okay. I'm getting old. Well, let's go ahead and plug this thing in. That letter got one of these as well at the same sale. I guess there was a few of them, and he said his was a disaster in terms of the bearings and so forth, so I am not going into this with high expectations. Goes low to high, which is nice. I can't imagine this moves very much air. The guard is so thick and dense, it's going to block so much airflow. Well, let's see. Best way to find out is just to turn it on right now. Well, the bearing should certainly dry, but that sounds more like squeaking from dryness as opposed to warm. And you know what? It's moving a lot more air than I would have expected. It's not moving much, but there is actually, I can feel airflow, and that I really wasn't expecting. Yeah, see, this is just dry bearing noise. There is airflow. Not much, but it's there. It's horrifically out of balance. Well, you know, for that spin down time, it's sure doesn't seem like the bearings are that bad. Oh gosh, Look at how much that's shaking. The image stabilization probably is taking much of it out, but wow, look at that. It's shaking all over the place. So on high, it's not powerful, but I do have to say it moves much more air than I thought it would. I can actually feel air moving across the room. It's hardly any, but it's there, and that's more than I was expecting. And it just wasn't rattling. It would actually be fairly quiet. It's a weak airflow, but it's there, and it seems to travel fairly well. And these are really not intended to cool a big area. This was intended to sit on somebody's desk or something 2 feet away from you, and for that purpose, this would be fine. I bet those bearings will quiet right down once we balance it and put a couple drops of oil in there. It's already getting better as it warms up. But the balance is just, holy mackerel, no wonder the bearings are shot. That's really surprisingly quiet. Alright, that's 0.47 amps, 41.9 the watts, with a power factor of 0.73. On the medium, we have 0.39 amps, 35.5 the watts, with a power factor of 0.74. And on low, we have 0.34 amps, 30.6 the watts, with a power factor of 0.75. And I have to take back what I said about the speeds. There is actually some difference. We could get those bearings to quiet down. This would actually be really nice and low. Very quiet. And I can still feel a considerable breeze. 4 or 5 feet away. I'm impressed. I guess I just set the standards so low that it was able to exceed them. That's kind of pathetic in some ways. Well, I think we can get this running pretty good. I don't think this one is anywhere near as bad as the one that the letter H ended up with.